Well, this is green, Grace. What are you talking about? Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another Get Ready With Me. So I'm just going to hop right into it. I'm going to start with the Huda Beauty Matte Perfection Pre-Makeup Base. Oh, gotta shake it first. Let me take this out because I actually can't really hear. I like this, but I don't feel like it's as mattifying as the Makeup Forever Mattifying Primer. And then I'm also going to take the Wet n Wild Impossible Primer. I have been liking this a lot as well. I love the way my makeup goes on over top of it. I think my foundation applies really beautifully. I don't necessarily know that it helps with longevity at all, but that's fine. I'm not necessarily looking for that from this. For foundation, I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. This is in the shade F1. I feel like this foundation oxidizes though. But I'm also kind of just trying to use this up, to be honest. It's pretty old and I just want to move on to new things. So, okay, so now it's time for brows. I'm going to take my spoolie in my soap and just brush this soap through my brows. And I did pluck my eyebrows before. So this is why there's a giant red spot right here. Oops. While my brows are setting, I'm going to prime my eyes using the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. I'm kind of curious about trying like a more opaque primer that people use a lot, but I'm just like so happy with this that I don't really see the point. But I am curious. Let me know your opinions on like opaque. I always ask, I'm like, just let me know everything you ever think, but do you guys use a like opaque base for your eyeshadow? Because this obviously has no color. This is more for just like longevity, but I'm interested in trying one. So I'm gonna take some concealer. This is Maybelline Fit Me, and just put this on the inner part of my eye. And then I'm just gonna put some lip balm on. This is the Florence by Mills Glow Yeah Lip Oil, but it's bad. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint pen in the shade Auburn. Where is my little mirror? And just fill my brows in. I have a pimple right here and it's literally the most annoying thing. Okay, let's zoom in now and do an eye look. Today I'm going to be using two BH palettes, the Lost in Los Angeles palette and the Passion in Paris. This I wanted to use because this gives me, like, it's like a pastel palette, right? So in honor of the Natasha Denona pastel palette coming out, I thought I could use this. But first I'm gonna do a little halo eye. I'm gonna start with the Passion in Paris palette, dive back into it, and I'm gonna take the shade Grand Palette. I'm so excited to use these again. I've had nothing but absolute success using BH's palette, honestly. I wonder what's gonna happen now that Makeup Revolution bought them. Like, I hope, knowing Makeup Revolution, they're probably just gonna like trash this eyeshadow formula and use their own, and it's gonna just like be so sad. But if they're smart, they would take BH's formula and use it for their own selves. Because, yeah, whoever was making these color stories, I feel like was doing a really good job in general, and BH's quality is like super, super good. Whereas Makeup Revolution's is just you know? It's workable, it's like fine, but it doesn't, there's now at this point in my life, or at this point in my makeup collection, my makeup life, I don't even know what would make me buy a Makeup Revolution eyeshadow palette. My right eye is always just so rogue. It always looks so bad compared to my left. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the Lost in Los Angeles palette, and I'm gonna take the shade, the 405, which is this nice peachy shade. It's super bright. And I'm going to just blend this around the edges. What does everyone think of the Natasha Denona pastel palette? I just don't feel like, when I first saw her swatches of it on her Instagram stories, I was like, oh, that looks nice. Like, I like a lot of the colors individually, but there's just no way that I would buy an $80 like pastel palette, especially when I have this one. Like, no. I'd rather have the Circo Loco if I'm gonna buy like a colorful Natasha Denona palette. And there are other Natasha Denona palettes that I would rather have, especially as someone who doesn't like, pastels aren't necessarily my thing, you know? So, like, I like them as like transition shades or like companions to deeper shades, but I would never do like an all pastel look, honestly. And I'm gonna take the shade Wayho. I think that's how you pronounce it, but I'm not sure. And just blend this around the edges. Like, this is probably the brightest that I'd ever go with my eyeshadow. Okay, that took like no time because these shadows are literally a dream to work with. So I'm going to hop off camera, just cut the center of like my lid, and then be back. Okay, I thought I was filming, but I was not recording. Anyway, I just cut my crease and I took Grand Palais, the darkest red shade on the inner and outer part of my eye. Nothing very exciting. Now I'm going to take the 405, which was the bright peachy shade, and just blend the very edges of my lid here. And then take a small amount of that and run that over the edge. Or like the center, that's the word. And then I'm going to take Grand Palais, the darkest red, on a tiny little brush and stamp this over the edge of where I cut my lid. Now I'm going to take some NYX glitter primer and put that in the center part of my eye. Okay, so for my lid, I'm going to take the shade Malibu in the very center and Sunset Boulevard on the edges. So I'm taking Malibu, which is this really beautiful like orangey peach, and I'm just doing a stripe down the center. This is a wonky line, so I might have to try to fix this. And then take Sunset Boulevard, which looks much more textured. Okie doke. So that's on my lids. Now I'm just gonna take the tiniest bit of the 405 and blend this into the shade Sunset Boulevard, which is so beautiful, by the way. And then I'm going to take Wayho again, the lightest shade, and just blend the edges of this out. And then I'm going to take Malibu and Sunset Boulevard. Look at Sunset Boulevard, it's so pretty. And just intensify these shades on my lid with my finger. And then I'm going to take the Abbey, which is this matte white, and use this to highlight my brow bone just a little bit. Let's zoom out a little and finish up my face. So for concealer, I'm gonna take the Maybelline Fit Me. I haven't used this in a little bit. I've been really stuck on my Kosas one. And then I'm going to take the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer and Spot Conceal. Okay, so I'm going to use the KVD Liquid Gel Contour. If I can find my brush. My hair is out of control. Oh my god, I so desperately need to book a haircut. Oh my god. And then take the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade Tan Lines and bronze my face up. I feel like I saw a lot of hype about this product when it first released, but I feel like I've seen a ton of mixed reviews about it. And I actually like it, especially considering it's like 10 bucks or whatever. Like, it's quite affordable and it has a really good shade range. I like it. Although, I will say, I don't have an extensive knowledge base of cream products or cream bronzers, but I don't mind it. Alright, it's powder time. I'm going to take the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder and set my face in all the usual places. I actually feel like I don't need to set this part of my face with loose powder or like bake with it like I do my other areas, because I'm pretty much doing this just because I find that it really does help with helping my makeup last longer, and obviously these are the areas that get most oily, not under my jaw. But I mean, there's no reason that the outer part of my under eye needs to be baked. But by my nose, absolutely. And then taking the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder and Ethereal Light and brushing this away. Taking the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder and setting the other parts of my face. And going back in with the Hourglass powder. Okay, so now let's finish up my lower lash line. I'm gonna go into the shade the 405. Okay, so now let's finish up my lower lash line. I'm gonna take the shade the 405 and put this all underneath my eye. And then I'm gonna take Grand Palette and put this underneath my eyes. And then I'm gonna take Weiho and blend this out. Okay, my camera cut out so rudely, but on my under eye, I just took the tiniest amount of glitter glue and put it in the center of my lower lash line. And then I took the shade Malibu that I used in the very center of my eye and just place that on top. Now I'm gonna take the shade Musée d'Orsay. This is just the matte black from the Passion in Paris. I'm going to take some of this and deepen my outer and inner corner, or like the outer and inner parts of my eye. And then finally I'm gonna take the shade The Hills, which is this like icy pink. I'm gonna give that a little spray and put this on my inner corners. Maybe it honestly, actually, take it back. It's more of like a lavender purpley shade. Or maybe it just looks that way in comparison to all of these like warm tones. I don't know. I was like obsessed with The Hills, and then I started rewatching it on Crave like a year ago, or like maybe 2 years ago. No, like a year ago now. And it was so good. I need to finish it. It's honestly like peak 2000s culture. It's amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it there for my eyes for now. For bronzer, I'm gonna take the ColourPop Press Powder Bronzer. This is in the shade Private Party, I think, and just bronze with this. Although this is really not my best bronzer shade, so. Then I'm gonna spray my face with the e.l.f. Dewy Coconut Setting Mist. For highlight, I'm going to take, this is just the best highlighter, the Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter in the shade Molten Rose Gold. It's so good. Don't forget about this highlighter. It was so hyped up and it still looks so beautiful. It's a little bit too dark for a Cupid's bow highlight for me. Sorry, I'm just checking if I'm still filming, but I do it anyway. And then I guess we're gonna be ultimate glowy today. I'm gonna take the NYX Sweet Cheeks Glow blush in the shade Daydream, because isn't this the perfect blush shade? Let me just dust off my dirty blush brush. Okay. I want to get the matte version of this blush as well, because I feel like this is like the perfect corally summer color. I mean, look at that. I'm gonna look a little bit like a grease ball, but this definitely highlights texture though. I didn't even know I had all these little bumps on my face until right now. I'm almost done. I'm gonna take the Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt Gel Mascara and just run this through my brows. And then take some Freck and do some freckles. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna leave it. I'm going to finish up my eyes, put lashes on, put something on my lips, and be back to conclude. Okay, and this is the finished look. I went with a bright lip embracing spring. On my lips I have the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in the shade Sandstorm and the Nude Sticks Magnetic Matte Lip Color in the shade Baby K in collaboration with Karen O. This was in the creator box they did, the one that they did with Samantha Ravindal. And I really do love this shade. I just don't honestly wear it that much. And I thought, you know, it kind of fit the vibe. I really love playing with this Lost in Los Angeles palette. I think it is such a great little pastel palette. Pastel. I think I say pastel. What am I? Oh. I really enjoyed playing with this little Lost in Los Angeles palette. Honestly, I would say, I don't even know if this is still available, but if you can find it or find it on a discount somewhere before it disappears, I just feel like save your money on the Natasha Denona palette and get like this palette or something like it. Unless you're like a true like lover of pastels, but for me this really serves my purpose, and I think it's going to be so great in the summer. I can just, now that daylight savings has happened, I'm just envisioning summer and I'm just so looking forward to it. Thank you so much for watching another Get Ready with me, and I would love to see you in my next video. Bye!